Hi guys, today we're going to do a breakdown of one of the most trending reel on Instagram.
Everyone's chasing shortcuts, looking for that magic pill. But here's the truth. There is no magic pill.
If you're new to After Effects or a beginner, don't worry at all. I have shown step by step and also the logic behind each step. Let's get started. Coming in After Effects, let's start with the new composition. For that, you can click over here in new composition. Let's call this as main. From over here in the preset, let's choose 1080 by 1920. The animation duration can be 10 seconds and just press on OK. Perfect. Our new comp has opened over here. Let's have a quick look at our first scene. In our scene 1, we have this cool text animation, see like this, and also two elements rotating on the background. Let's firstly create that. For the background, we'll need a white solid. To create a solid, all you need to do is just right click over here, go to new and create a solid layer. Click once, let's call this as a background or BG for short. From over here you can choose the color. Right now by default it is white, so you can just simply press on OK. Okay, our background is ready. Let's go over here and make this fit. Perfect. Now on top of this, let's start by adding our text. Text is everyone is chasing shortcuts. So let's go over here, select our text tool. Let's click here, everyone is chasing. Okay, go back to selection tool. In order to center it, just press on command and home. This will make it center aligned. Let's drag it little up. And below this, let's also add the word shortcuts. But we'll add it later on. Firstly, let's animate this. If you see the animation, it's coming, see like this, very smoothly. To do that, let's go over here in the drop downs. You see this animate, you can add any parameter in the text animation. See, so firstly, as we want it to reveal later by later, we'll add the opacity. And second, as we want it to come little from the bottom, we will add the position. So going over here, let's add the position. So in the position, see, if you wanted to come from left or to the right, we would have played around with the x-axis. As you wanted to come from the bottom, we'll just play around with the y-axis. So x is this axis, y is your straight axis. Okay. So over here, I will just drag it little down. Maybe we'll keep it 30 for now. Later on, we can adjust it. And opacity, let's keep this as 0. Now open our range selector. See in this offset, firstly, add a keyframe. We'll need to keep the offset as -100. And as we go ahead at around 1 second, okay, at 1 second, let's keep this as +200. I'll explain the reason in a second. But before that, firstly go to advanced. Over here in the shape, instead of square, we'll need to keep it as ramp up. See, when you choose it as ramp up, at that time we can keep the offset from 0 to 100. But when we choose ramp up, or even the other one, the ramp down, we have to choose it from -100 to 100. See, this way, see it's coming up nicely, like this. But still, it is very linear. To give it a smooth motion, let's select both the keyframes and click on F9. This will add an easiest motion to our animation. Let's have a quick look. So it's coming up, but I think we'll need to play around with the position. So we can simply close this. Let's click on this and let's keep it at around 80. Let me see now. Looks cool. Perfect. If you see now, it looks cool, right? Next, if you want the animation to happen quickly, you can simply decrease the distance between the keyframes. So over here, let's keep this somewhere over here. Let's see. Nice. Let me add the audio as well.
Everyone's chasing.
Okay, perfect. Let me do one thing. Let me just keep this one over here. And this one, they'll keep it at this position. So that when he said everyone, we have the word everyone popping up.
Everyone's fixation.
Nice. As now we have already created this animation, we'll just simply take a duplicate of this layer by pressing Command D. Let's drag that layer down. Here we'll write the word shortcuts. Perfect. Let's keep this properly over here. Now click on this layer and press on U. This will open up the keyframes which you have just added. See, firstly we want this layer to come up and then we'll want the word shortcuts. So let's select this keyframe, drag it ahead, maybe at 20 frames, and then keep this over here. Let's see. No, maybe a little earlier, and this one over here. Let's see now.
Everyone's chasing shortcuts.
Perfect. Now let's add a rectangle around it. Going to the top, let's select our rectangle tool. Ensure that no layer is selected. See, if a layer is selected, we'll create a mask. See, that's the reason you need to ensure there is no layer selected. So coming over here, let's create a mask. See, okay, for me the stroke was 500. We'll simply keep it at around 10. Okay. Even this looks too much, we'll keep it around 5. Looks cool. Let me just arrange it a bit. We'll keep it like this. Perfect. Once the rectangle is ready, let's go over here in rectangle 1. In the stroke, on the bottom you see these dashes. Just click once. See, this will turn it into dotted lines. Next over here in the dash, you can just play around with the distance. Let's keep it around 20. Perfect. Now let's quickly animate this rectangle. So if you see at the beginning, we don't have the text, but we still see the rectangle. To animate it, okay, firstly let me just name this as the dotted rectangle. Again click on this. Right now you see, by default, the anchor point is here in the center. As we want to animate it in a way where the arrow drags it from here till here. Let me show you. See over here. The arrow drags it like this. To create that animation, we'll need to keep this anchor point over here in the corner. So just press on Y. That's the shortcut for the anchor point. Take this anchor point. Also hold on command. When you hold on command, see it will just come over here and stick at this point. That's it. So again now click on the layer. Press on S. This will open up a scale property. So at the beginning, at this point, we want this to be 0. Then going ahead somewhere over here, let's keep this as 100%. Let's see. Nice. Now select both the keyframes and just press on F9. Let me see.
Everyone's spacing short.
See right now, this is happening too slow. We'll do one thing. We can make it start somewhere over here. Okay, let's see. Perfect. Now select both the keyframes. Go here in a graph editor. See these 2 points? Click on one. This will give you the handle. Just drag it little to the left like this. Perfect. This way it will increase the influence and now it will speed up over here and then give a smooth flow like this. Let's see.
Spacing shortcuts.
Nice. Now finally, let's add the mouse cursor. Let's drag and drop it over here. Again press on S. Let's scale this down. So you'll start the animation of the cursor from over here. It will go at this point. See at the start of this. So it will go at this point and then again come down. Okay. Let's start doing it. Firstly, I want to decrease it further. Let's keep it around 4%. Looks good. Okay, we'll do one thing. Over here, let's drag and keep it. Let me zoom in. Let's keep it at this point. Okay, perfect. So for the cursor, as we need to change the position, we'll need to add a keyframe in the position. So let's press on P. Add a keyframe over here. See, we have added a keyframe at the exact position where we have started our rotated rectangle. Then as we go here, at this point, let's keep this over here. Okay, nice. But again now, we have to select these keyframes, press on F9, see this will add the easiest motion. And if you remember over here, see we have created a curve like this. Okay, we'll create a similar curve. So going to these keyframes, going to the graph editor, again select on this point, this will open up the handle and create a similar curve. Okay, let me see.
Shortcut.
Perfect. I think I can do one thing. Initially, right, at this point, I want to rotate this a bit. So just press on R and rotate it little bit. Okay, I just rotated it by 7 degrees. Perfect. Now for both of these layers, just select them and we want to add a motion blur. For that, simply click on this icon. Perfect. Nice. This will add a nice motion to our animation. See like this.
Spacing shortcut.
Perfect. Now we have to do one more thing. Now comes the important part. Let's add realism to our animation. See, as this is the cursor, what does the cursor do? It clicks, right? So let's add that clicking effect. But before that, we'll need to do one more thing. Initially, we don't want the cursor to start from over here. Even if you see in this animation, see the cursor is coming from outside and then creating this rectangle. Okay, let's create a similar animation. So at the beginning, somewhere over here, let's hold the cursor and drag it out like this. Okay, maybe somewhere over here. Also this curve, right? I don't want this curve to be straight. So for that, you can go to the top, set our pen tool, and then simply holding this point, just drag it like this. Okay, let's create a smooth motion. Let me see.
Everyone's chasing.
Perfect. See, I think we can do one thing. I can go back to a selection tool. Maybe drag it somewhere over here. Also, let's again select our rotation. At this point, add a keyframe rotation. See, over here, it can be -7. So let's add one more keyframe. Going to the first one, let's keep it the normal one. Okay. Let's further rotate it. See, like this. Let's see.
Everyone's spacing short.
Perfect. Finally, let's add opacity. So again, holding shift, press on T, add a keyframe opacity. Going ahead at this point, say it will be 100. So add one more. Go to the first one. Let's make this as 0. Let's see.
Everyone's spacing short.
Awesome, right?
Everyone's spacing short.
Perfect. So when this ends, we need to create a clicking effect. So for that, just click on the scale and then at this position, maybe at 10 frames, just increase this to 5. Let's see.
Everyone's chasing shortcuts.
Nice. So now as we look at this, see it looks as if we are dragging the rectangle and then leaving it at this point. See. Let's see the first animation. Let me zoom out a bit.
Everyone's chasing shortcut.
Perfect. Looks awesome, right? Now let's mount our two elements which we saw at the top and the bottom. And we're going to learn a very interesting thing called an expression while animating these elements. Let me firstly clear our timeline. I like a neat one. So just press on U. That's it. To create that shape, firstly we click over here, go to new and create a new shape layer. Click once. Now insert this shape layer. Let's go to add. And this time we'll add a polyster. Again, the polyster is created, but we don't have the color yet. To add the color, again go back to add and add the fill. This way we have got a red star. Now let's press on S, scale this up, maybe something like this. Now go to the top. Over here, let's choose the black shade. Nice. Open this up. In the contents, you see this polystar path? Just open this. See, we have to just play around with these 4 parameters. Firstly, let's increase the outer roundness. Maybe something like this. Let's decrease the inner roundness. Okay. Again, in the outer radius, let's increase this further. And in the inner radius, let's reduce this. Okay. Looks pretty good. Let's press on S and scale this down a bit. Perfect. See, this is similar to the shapes which we have over here. Okay. So firstly, I'll just call this as flower. Okay. I cannot think of any other name. Just call this as flower 1. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's press on V and keep our first flower over here. Okay. Now comes the expression piece. We want this flower to rotate indefinitely. If we add keyframes over here and at the end, again we might need to keep on changing it. But easier way is adding a time expression in the rotation. Let me show you how to do that. It's very easy. Go over here, use this rotation, just press on Option or Alt if you're using Windows and click once. See over here, just type time into, maybe we'll keep it around 40. Let's see.
Everyone's busy shortcuts.
Nice, see. You see, it's rotating indefinitely. Till the end of the animation, it will keep on rotating. Perfect. Now let's take a copy of this, drag it down over here. Perfect. Looks awesome. Now let's add our camera. Go over here, go to New, click on Camera. We'll just name it as the camera. Everything else can remain the same. Just press on OK. Once you add the camera, we have to make all the other layers 3D as well. So to make it 3D, simply drag it down over here. Okay, the background, we don't really need to make the background 3D. Everything else, just ensure that it is 3D. Again, right click. In order to control the camera, we'll need to add the null object. Okay, the null object is there. Let's make it 3D as well. And again, parent this. You see this pickwick? Using this pickwick, you can parent it to any other layer. So you can take it and just connect it to a null object. Now this null object will act as the camera. So if I press on S and increase or decrease this, you see everything is getting animated. Looks cool, right? Let's firstly keep it like this. Firstly, let's zoom out a bit like this. Add a keyframe over here. 10 frames. Let's bring this down like this. In fact, I want to do one thing. For this, right, I'm just going to increase the scale. Okay, and keep it out over here. And even for this, let me increase the scale a bit and keep it up. Let me see now.
Everyone's spacing short.
Okay, let's take this a little further. At the beginning, this can be further out.
Everyone's spacing shortcut.
Perfect. Looks awesome. In order to create a blurry effect, we'll also enable the motion blur.
Everyone's chasing short.
Perfect. There's one small thing pending. If you see over here, at the beginning, everything else is blurred. You see, this one is blurred, this is blurred. See, even later on, the focus is over here, but the other elements, right, they are blurred. Because we want the attention of the viewer only at the middle element. Let me show you how to do that. For that, we'll add something called as the adjustment layer. So right click over here, go to New and add the adjustment layer. The reason we're adding this is because anything that you add on top of the adjustment layer, so basically any effect that you add on the adjustment layer impacts all the layers which are below the adjustment layer. For now, we're going to add a blur effect. If I have to add it one by one to all these layers, it will take a lot of time. But as I will add it to the adjustment layer, at one shot, I will be able to add blur across our entire animation. So just select our adjustment layer, search for Gaussian blur. Okay. Go to our effects control. Let's blur this way. Okay. Maybe we'll keep it around 25. Now you might be thinking everything is blurred. How the focus will come on the middle? For that, we'll do something called as the masking. So again, holding the adjustment layer, go to the top, see over here and select our ellipse tool. Now coming over here, just create simple mask like this. Okay. Hold shift. This way you'll get a perfect circle. Now go to the mask. In the mask path, pressing on V. Let's properly arrange it. Perfect. Now all we need to do is just invert this. So for that, we have an option called as inverted. Just click here. That's it. And next, in the mask feather, you can add a nice feather. Perfect. Let me see.
Everyone's chasing sword.
Perfect. This way, if you see, everything which is outside this mask will be blurred. And this will happen throughout the animation, which is exactly what we want. See, later on, we might need to play around with this mask feather, basis how hard or soft we want the animation to be. But for now, let's leave it like this. This way, we have successfully completed our scene 1. I know it took time, but I'm 100% sure you would have learned some great new techniques. Now let's move on to our scene 2. It's going to be super simple. Let's close all the layers. So for our scene 2, we have to move all these elements up. So for that, let's go to our null layer. In fact, let me just rename this as the camera controller.
Shortcuts.
So after shortcuts, we have to take everything out So here, let's press on P, add a keyframe, maybe somewhere over here. Let's take everything out like this. Perfect. Let me see. I think this is too fast. Look, I think this is too fast. We'll do one thing. We'll keep it somewhere over here. Let me see. See, when this is going up, at that time as well, we can give it a smooth motion by selecting the keyframes and pressing on F9. Let me see. Nice. Perfect. Now when this is going up, at the same time, we want the next scene to come in. See this one. See the pill as well as the grid background. So for that, we'll do one thing. Let's add the grid to the timeline. Let's press on S. Let's scale this down a bit. Perfect. Right now, the color of the grid is little different. So I'm just going to do quickly one change. This background layer that you see over here, go over here in the layer, in the solid settings, take this pick quick and just connect it to the grid. That's it. Press on OK. Perfect. Now on top of the grid, let's add our pill. We can press on S, scale this down. We'll animate this. Firstly, we are just placing our elements. Perfect. I think it can be a little bigger. Something like this. Now let's add some shadow. For that, right click over here, go to layer styles and add the drop shadow. From the drop shadow, let's increase the size. Perfect. And from the angle, let's play around. Perfect. And finally, in the opacity, let's keep it around 50%. Nice. Now see, there's one more thing. When you create any 2D layer as 3D, by default, the shadow vanishes. Because on the 3D layers, there is something called as, see, this light. When you create this light, in the spotlight settings, you get different settings by which you can add a 3D light. But for now, I don't want it to be very complex. So we'll just keep this 2D light. But when you want to keep a 2D light in a 3D composition, you just need to ensure that the layer is pre-comped. So over here, for the pill, just right click over here and let's make it pre-comp. Again, we'll just name it as pill. That's not an issue. Move all attributes to new composition and just press on OK. Perfect. Now, even if you make it 3D, okay, see when you made it 3D, the pill vanished. The reason being, see the pill is somewhere over, when did the pill go? See, it's somewhere over here at the top. If you want it over here in front of us, all you have to do is just press on command and the home. So command and home. See, it again came back in front of us. Okay, let me see the animation. Okay, we'll need to do exact same thing for the grid. So for the grid, make this 3D. Again, press on command and home. And before this point, let's cut all these two layers. Perfect. Now let's go over here. See, before this point, we don't really need these two layers. So let's simply cut them. So for that, press on Option and the left square bracket. If you're using Windows, just press on Alt and the left square bracket. Okay, this way, both the layers are cut. Let me see.
Looking for shortcuts.
I still feel this is too fast. We'll do one thing. Let's keep it over here. Now again, selecting these two keyframes. Let's go over here. That's the reason. See, this one, let's drag it little to the left. Okay, you can do it little further and drag this one to the right. Perfect. This looks much better. Now if you see over here, you have to make few changes. Initially, when this is coming up, see it zoomed in and then it goes out like this. We can create a similar animation over here, where at the beginning, see in the camera controller, just press on S again. So for that, the easiest way is that you can go over here, see for this pill and grid, just press on S. Let's scale this up, see like this. Okay, let's keep our flowers on the top. Okay, this way. Let me see. Perfect. So this is the starting point, and later on, go to camera, press on S. See at this point, when this goes up, add a keyframe. And then when this animation is playing, maybe somewhere till here, let's scale this down. See like this. Okay, perfect. Now I'll just keep it out here. Okay, perfect. Let's see.
Chasing shortcuts. Looking for that magic pill.
Perfect. Looks cool. Now we'll do one small thing. If you see over here, see this pill is rotating. That's very easy. We just need to add a keyframe in the rotation. We'll do that. But there is one more element. See this one. Let's add that as well. Again, flower 2. Let's take a duplicate and keep it over here. At this bottom, you can press on this and scale this up or down. Okay, it's up to you. Let me see. Okay.
Looking for that magic.
Okay, looks perfect. Now let's go inside this pill over here. Okay, maybe somewhere over here. Let's add a keyframe rotation. Rotate it like this. Going ahead at 4 seconds, let's rotate it all the way on the right. Okay, let me see. Is this looking cool? It's not even starting here. 1 minute. It's somewhere over here. It should start. So let's go here. Okay, my bad. See. So from here, nice. See, even a linear animation will work. Okay, so let's go over here. Let me see.
Looking for that magic pill.
Perfect. Let me see.
Looking for that magic pill.
Perfect. Let me do one thing. I think this has become a little shabby. So whatever was in scene 1, right? See this one, this. Let's give it a similar color. I'm just going to keep it yellow. Given is floor 1, let's keep it yellow. Okay. Then came the camera. Let's drag the camera to the top with the camera controller. These 3 layers, let's keep it cyan because they are going to be our main layers or the parent layers for all the lines. Okay. And then for our scene 2, these 3, yeah. Let's give it a nice green color. No, maybe we'll keep it pink. Looks good. Now finally is a text. See, there's some random text. Even I can add that. Not a big deal. See, let's add it over here. Let me just quickly add that. Okay, I've added some random text. Let me just make it small. Okay, let's take the text, keep it over here. Okay, in fact, we need to make it smaller. Keep it 30. Perfect. Now in order to animate this, we're going to keep it super simple. Firstly, let's make it 3D. Okay, it vanished. So in order to make it back, what will you do? I've already shown it to you multiple times. Simply press on Command and Home. Okay, let's drag it over here. Let's press S. Let's scale it up a bit. Okay. Now to animate this, again super simple. Go to Animate, add a keyframe opacity. Again go over here, add a keyframe in position. Okay, these 2 parameters are here. We already saw them in our first animation. This time the only difference is that the animation is going to be by lines. Okay. So let's drag this down and make this at 0. Now open our ring selector. I think this is becoming bigger. Let me just make this over here. In offset, add a keyframe again and then make this 100%. Let me see. Perfect. And as you want this to come by lines, open advanced. In based on, you see, it's by characters. Just choose lines. Let me see. I think the gap is too much. In the position, instead of 70, let's keep it around 30. Okay, let's see.
But here's the truth.
Perfect. Finally, going over here, let's add a motion blur. Perfect. Let's press on U.
That's looking for
Okay. Keyframes will start from here and end somewhere over here.
that magic pill.
Perfect. This way we have completed our scene 1 and scene 2. Let's have a quick look at what we have completed till now.
Everyone's chasing shortcuts, looking for that magic pill.
Okay, one small thing. Text right should come little earlier. Press on U. Let's drag this here and here. Let me see.
Everyone's chasing shortcuts, looking for that magic pill.
Now let's quickly see the transition between scene 2 and our scene 3. So over here, when it's going to our scene 3, so it's not going directly. There is never a hard cut. It's a simple transition, see, like this, and then we have match cut. This is going down and the next scene is coming from the top. See, it goes down and next scene comes from the top. Okay. Again, very simple. As everything is already 3D, simply we need to go to the camera controller. Over here, click on P, which is the position. Let's see. Okay. So somewhere over here, add a keyframe and then at this position, let's drag everything down like this. Okay, let me see.
Magic pill.
Okay, let me see. Okay. Perfect. Now let's transition to scene 3. Over here, see, we have to cut it. So at this point, somewhere over here, when this is going down, we'll cut the layers. So let's select all our layers over here in scene 2 and let's simply press Option and the right square bracket. See. Let's drag it somewhere in 4 seconds. Till the time when we hear the flash. Perfect. Now let's quickly start building our scene 3. Firstly, let's place our frame. Let's drag and drop it over here. Nice. Let's add the shadow. Right click, layer styles, add the drop shadow. Let's go over here. Let's increase the distance. Something like this. Also increase the size. Nice. And then change the angle. Perfect. Okay. Looks cool. Let's make the layer 3D. When you make this 3D, this vanishes. To bring it in front of the camera, simply press on Command and Home. Okay. At this point, let's cut the layer. Perfect. We'll do the animation later on. Firstly, let's place the elements. So our frame is ready. Let's increase the size a bit. Perfect. Now let's add the black line which you see behind it. To do that, simply come over here and select our pen tool. Let's zoom out a bit. Ensure that no layer is selected. Unselect this layer. Make a point over here and make another point on the right side and simply create a line like this. Okay. Now coming to the top in the fill, let's make this as none. In the stroke, let's increase this. Okay. Let's zoom out a bit. This point that you see over here, let's press on V. Let's make it further up. Okay. Looks awesome. Now all we have to do is go over here inside the shape layer. Go to context. In shape 1, again in stroke, you see this taper. Open this. See in the start length, simply increase it. That's it. See, immediately we got a nice shape, exactly similar to the one which you see over here. Perfect, right? Let's close it. Again, let's add drop shadow behind it. But I'm not going to create it from scratch. Let's simply go over here, open this. In layer styles, we have the drop shadow. Let's simply copy this, come into our shape layer 1, simply paste it. Perfect. Let's drag this down behind our frame. Let's press on S and scale this up a bit. Perfect. This adjustment layer, right? I don't really want it now, so I'm just going to trim it. Let's zoom in. Okay, looks awesome. Now let's quickly add the text. Here is the truth and then some random text on the bottom. Let's take the text layer. Again, no layer should be selected. Write the text is the. We'll animate it in a second. Firstly, let's place it properly. Here is the truth. Okay, in a different layer. Let's take a duplicate of this. Drag that down. Let's add the word. Let's increase the size from over here. Perfect. In fact, let's keep it in the center like this. Okay, perfect. Now for the random text, I'm just going to take a duplicate of this. Press Command D. Drag this over here and then drag this ahead. Let's press on U. Let's see where are the keyframes. Okay, over here. Let's take this keyframe, keep it over here. Let's take this keyframe, keep it over here.
But here's
Perfect. So these two elements are, I think, see the shape one. We'll need to make this 3D as well. So let's make it 3D. Again, it vanished. Again, press on the Command and Home. It came back. Let's keep it over here. Nice. Same thing for the other text, these two. Let's make them 3D as well. And press again Command and Home. Again, we'll just quickly arrange them like this. Perfect. Let's do one thing. Let's properly arrange the layers. Let's arrange them over here. I think it starts from here, right? Okay. Let's quickly, I'm going to name it as the black stroke. Let's select all these layers in our scene 3. Let's select and give it a nice purple color. Again, whatever is the unwanted part, let's trim it. So select these two. Let's trim the layers. Again, select in our last layer. Let's trim it. Perfect. Let's see. Nice. Now let's start the animation. So firstly, we start with the text animation. This time, the text animation is the opposite. See over here, the text is coming from the top to the bottom. To do that, again, we are not going to do it from the scratch. See over here, we have the text, right? Everyone is chasing. Let's see where is the text. Everyone is chasing. Let's go to the drop down. In text, we have this animator one. Simply copy this. Go to our text. Here is the, at this point, ensure that the layer is selected. Just paste it. Okay. Let's see. Here is the, but we want it the opposite way. So we'll do one thing. Go over here in animator 1. See this position. Instead of positive, let's keep this as -30. Let's see first if it looks good.
But here's the truth.
Nice. See, here is the, and the truth will come from the bottom. So for that, it's quite simple. In fact, we can do one thing. Let's again paste it on top of this. Okay. But you want the entire word to come together. So for that, you can go over here in animator, in the range selector, again in advanced. See, this based on, instead of characters, just choose words. This way, the entire word will come together. Let's see if we can do one small thing. See this position, right? We can make it further down. And one more thing, this press on U. Let me see. Okay. Here's the
truth.
Okay. No, one thing. Okay. Let's zoom in a bit. Let's open this. Let's press on U. Let me see the keyframes. Okay. It's coming too fast. I don't want it to be this fast. Looks perfect, right? See. Okay. Here's the truth. Looks perfect, right? Nice. Next, let's close them. For the frame, we want to rotate this. So just press up R. Add a keyframe in Z rotation. Okay. Let's rotate it something like this. Okay. Going ahead, somewhere at this point at 5 seconds, let's rotate it all the way like this. Okay. Let's see.
Here's the truth.
Perfect. This looks cool. I'm just going to do one small change. Select both the keyframes and just press on F line. This will add an easy ease motion to the animation. Okay.
Here's the truth.
Cool. Finally, let's animate the stroke. So for that, click on the black stroke. Go over here. We need to go to add and click on trim paths. See, at this point itself, this stroke is going to come in. So in the trim paths, you see this end property, make this as 0. That's it. Click on the stopwatch. Going ahead, maybe at this point, let's make this as 100%. See, that's it. Looks cool, right? See, looks beautiful to me. So we can do one thing, we can keep this earlier. Let's see. See, in this animation, we want the stroke to start at this point. So we'll do one thing. See, at the beginning itself, right? We'll keep it till here. Okay. So this way it will flow from here till ahead. Looks cool.
Here's the truth.
Perfect. Now let's do our final animation. For this, let's close all the layers. So firstly, go to a camera controller. Press on U. This will open up the keyframes which you have just added. Let's select all these layers. let's trim them up a bit. So at this position somewhere, we'll again add a keyframe position somewhere over here. So this is going to be the final position, right? So let's add a keyframe over here. Going to the first one, let's zoom in. Okay. So this one, let's keep it a little earlier. At this position, we want this to be up. So let's simply drag this up like this. We keep it little over here. Okay. That way we'll have a nice match cut. Okay, this is going down and then this will come in.
No, but here's the truth.
Okay, let me show you how to give it a smooth motion. See, for this, when this is going down, right, let's see the animation over here. Select these two keyframes, go over here, let's zoom in. See, for this one, let's say select this handle and drag it all the way to the left, like this.
But here's the truth.
See, at this point, we want to keep it all the way up. Let's drag this down a bit, somewhere over here. This way, we'll have a nice match cut effect. See over here, this will start and we should have this one code. Okay, let's do one thing at this position. Let me zoom in a bit. See, at this position, let's take this down further.
But here's the truth.
Nice. Perfect. This way, our transition is ready. Let's have a quick look at what we have created till now.
Pill. But here's the truth.
Perfect. If you want this transition to be seamless, you can simply add a blur layer on top of this. To add that, you can right click, go to new, add the adjustment layer. See over here, I'm just going to trim this at this point. Again, going ahead, I'm going to trim it on the right. And then on top of this, let's add the blur effect. So we'll search for Gaussian blur. Let's increase the blurriness. Let's see.
But here's the
Perfect. Let's trim this layer further.
pill. But here's the truth.
Perfect. This way we have successfully completed our scene 3. Let's have a quick look at our entire animation.
Everyone's chasing shortcuts, looking for that magic pill. But here's the truth. There is no
Perfect. This way we have successfully completed our 3 scenes. Let's have a quick look at our scene 4. See, from this point, see, it will simply come up, see, like this. To do that, all you need to do is camera controller. You see the scale? You need to simply increase the scale. See, like this. You increase the scale and you cut these layers. Again, see, you have the simple pill which is coming up like this. You already seen this text animation. I'm just going to show you how this circle was created. You see this dotted circle? Let me show you how to create that, because everything else is simple. To create that, let me do one thing. At this point, let me trim all the layers. Coming over here, let's go to the top. Let's select our ellipse tool. Let's create a circle over here. Keep the stroke at around 5. Nice. Open this. Open the stroke. You see these dashes? Just click once. We got the dashes. Now go over here in add and click on trim paths. See, we have to just play around with these trim paths. So at the start, let's keep the start somewhere over here and also play around with the end. Perfect. Maybe at this point, we add keyframes in both of them. Going ahead, make the start as 100, even the end as 0. That's it. So if you play now,
magic pill.
see, very similar to the circle which you saw over there. So that's it guys for this tutorial. Unfortunately, my camera stopped working as I've been shooting for so long, but I hope you understand. So as always, if you loved the video, make sure to like, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. I will catch you next time.